Okay, if you guys have watched the unboxing video, it's been 3 months since that unboxing video. I started looking at the instructions and everything, and I just totally lost interest with the busy life of, I bought it on Black Friday and going through Christmas and all that. I had other things to do. So now we're going to start putting it together, and I don't see it being an easy process as other people show, and I'm going to show you each process. I'm not going to speed anything up, and I'm not going to cut anything out. If you guys see that a frame has been cut or something, that's because I'm going back to the instructions, and I don't want you guys to see it on film as I'm staring at the instructions they give you. Which here, I'll bring them up. Here's the instruction. There's the instructions they give you. And yeah, it's kind of like reading a doctor's note, really. So I will be going back and forth. And hopefully I make the best video that's out there. It won't be as good as a lot of people, how they zoom up on it and all that. Editing is just such a pain. But I figured out a few things that are pretty important. So this is the bar that your hot end rolls on. It would be this bar right here. Now this bar has holes to where that wheel goes through. Now if you notice on this side, this has a bigger hole on this side, but on this it has a littler hole. Now if you was to go to your Ender 3 Non-Pro and look at it, this side has a bigger hole, which is this one right here, and this side has a little hole, and it looks just like this. You'll have a big hole right there. So that's a little hole, big hole, little hole, little hole, big hole, little hole, big hole, little hole. And it would go just like that. And if you get confused, don't find one that has 2 holes in here, as these have 2 holes in the middle. See them 2 holes right there? So that goes right there. I figured out that much. I've also figured out that this is the crossbar for the top, which is crossed here right here, across the top. Now, my Ender kit has the extender that you can buy on Amazon to raise it. I really don't like printing over 17 hours. I don't like changing out filaments. So this build is the 420 base full build, and it has the height, I think, of like a 10 or 20 millimeter raise. I don't know. That was a long time ago. But the kit that they sent me is only for the base to go 420. So the difference between this top bar and the 2 extra bars that we still have left is this bar has the 2 holes and no other holes in the bar. Now there's 2 other bars. These 2 bars have 2 holes in the middle. Now these 2 holes that are in the middle, they also have 2 holes on the side, so it kind of tricks you. If you see them 2 holes there and them 2 holes there, you're like, oh, that's the top bar. But no, it has 2 holes in the middle. And them 2 holes, I'm going to make it really small down here. Them 2 holes go like this, but face up. Then you're going to put one of these in there. One of these nifty things. And the bolt's going to come through the bottom. And this, which is the new base for something, who knows, it's going to then... Them things are going to go in there, and it's going to hold it like this, and it's going to hold the new table. That's all I know so far. We're going to build it as we go, and then you can see we'll get to all this stuff. I've really stared at the instructions a lot, and I think I'm going to be staring at them a lot more as we build it. But here we go. It's probably going to turn out to be a 4-hour video. I'll tell you at the end how long it actually took me. At the very end, I'll tell you. We are going to have the software, how to update the software on it, because it's not just going to naturally know that it has to do that. And then we're going to have a test print. And I'm going to have probably 5 different videos. One that has the software on there, one that don't have the software on there. I like to get everyone to watch 100 of my videos. So here we go. I think, regardless of what the instructions say, I'm going to start by making that top brace. I've looked at the instructions a lot. That top brace wider. The top brace totally comes off, plus the instructions show with the drive there, and I have direct drive, so a lot of the instructions aren't going to be totally relevant to me, but hopefully it helps you guys out a lot anyways. But let's start out by taking off that top bracket. Now the sidebars, which are originally right now the big 4x4s, I'll call them a 4x4. They're not going to be 4x4. Well, they're going to be like the sides. I don't know. It's weird. The instructions are so weird. The instructions aren't really that good when you go on their website anymore as of February 2022. It's 2022 now, isn't it? How are my screws falling to the ground? I'm using the tool. Also, I'm only going to try to use the toolkit that came with my Ender extender, my Ender 3. Ender 3 non-pro. I don't really see the benefits of the pro. We're just taking out, we're just tearing apart the top right now. And take that off. I don't know in the video if I'll put this back on. I don't really care for that thing. Okay, now we need to flip it over. I'm taking this whole top part off. Instructions want you to do it a little bit differently, but I don't. Gonna take the power supply off the back. Gonna lift this up a little bit. Try to not go so fast the light lights up. You guys didn't see that, but this actually puts out power when you move the motors by force. And lighting up that thing manually by doing this can cause some damage. Just 2 screws here on the power supply. And the power supply is just going to drop out. Just going to unplug it. It's just a standard unplug. Nothing fancy there. Going to put that to the side. Now I'm going to flip this thing upside down and take... My stuff is even... Oh, I lit it up again. My stuff is even still in here from my last couple prints. That's how fresh I'm doing this. Okay, now there's a screw there, screw there. Hopefully you guys can see this. One right there, one right there, one right here, and one right here. That takes off the whole top. As I'm taking that off, the crossbar that supports the hot end, it will come down. If I was to try to take it off the top, since I haven't extended the Ender extender up already, I have higher supports than the standard one. My cords would kind of like stretch out, and I don't want that. Also, I've seen something. I don't think it's going to become an issue because everything seems to be more elevated than what it was. But this cutout for all your wiring, it is not in the new kit. But we will see at the end if that's a problem, or if it's raised, which I think is what's going to happen. Now, I watched that one guy that's Australian. He does an amazing job, but he skips so much stuff. I've watched every single one of his videos on the Ender Extender 3 kit, and he's amazing, but he skips so much. So I'm hoping with my video... Ah, man, that's a mess. Let's get all my tips and crap out of the way. There's no better way to empty that drawer, which I won't be able to use anymore. I'm going to have to come up with a new one. Like and subscribe. That used to go on my end. Okay, so now it's free floating. If I just slightly hold this and unhook the Z-axis, this should all just kind of tumble down. I'm going to unplug the X-axis. Going to unplug the Z-axis motor. Going to unplug the one that makes it go up and down, this motor. I'm going to unplug a lot of. And then that all should just not come out the bottom because the motor's on there. So we're going to reuse these. Make sure you know which way they face. Actually, I could leave this together just like this. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this screw and this screw. The only thing we're getting rid of at this moment is this top bar that I'm taking the bolt out of. This top one here. It won't be used anymore. You have to put it somewhere where you know you won't accidentally think it's for the install. Which I've noticed that at least my older bars, they are a little bit more black looking than these are shinier. Now we're going to put it down with the cutout. See, they cut it out a little bit. It's kind of shiny there. The other side don't have a spot for the bolt to go through. We're going to put it with the cutout spot up. And that thing's huge. That's how wide it's going to be. Do not strip these out, meaning if they're hard to, you screw them in with your finger first, then you use the tool. Don't use a drill. It's aluminum. You can easily make the threads disappear. Now they want you to square everything up. I'm actually going to screw everything together and just test print it the way it is. I'm going to see if anything's in a bind, in a pinch. And if nothing's in a bind or a pinch, I'm probably just going to leave it. That just pulls away from the main unit. That's really nice. I'm going to take this and reattach it right here. Actually, man, my pieces are everywhere. I'm going to probably take that back off. Great making a live video. And I'm going to attach this on there, and then I don't have to mess with any of this again. If I put that side on, then that's not going to slide in. So I've totally messed up like everything. And this is really hard to do on a camera. I knew the camera was going to add about 2 hours of production. I don't know if you guys ever watch my other videos, but something that takes 10 minutes can all of a sudden turn into 45 minutes because you got to get the camera angles. Okay. Swoop down to my level. And quit complaining about my fingernails, people. I bite them for stress. Okay, so we can take this off, the Z-axis, when it comes down all the way. We don't need that until the very end. That's just a sensor to say when this comes down all the way. We can definitely put that back on at the end. That don't look like it's going to change too much. Plus mine has to be adjusted. Well, now it should be a pretty flat board. We're going to be using a glass board. That just comes right off. Put it to the side. I'm using a glass board now. That was actually adjusted before on my unit, at least, because my board was very warped. You guys may catch on to it as I'm moving it around, how warped it was. Will this come off the bottom? No, it won't come off the bottom. So we need to take these off. We're not going to be using that belt, but keep that belt around in case you don't like this setup. Or if you do so many upgrades as I'm doing to where I almost have enough parts sitting around to make another ender for someone else. So I've thought about doing that. So there is a bolt right there and a bolt right there. It goes into them little things that run into the channel. Now there was Loctite on these, I believe, originally. Not red Loctite. It should have been blue. So if you get that in right, I think these screws go clear through. Yep. Okay, so that I just took off. It's going to go on this new one that is that much wider. About that much wider. You guys can see that. And we got to match it up. It looks like it's a little, big, little, and it looks like it has that pointed this way. So we're going to flip it and drop that, and that should go right on there, and it should be a twin, just wider. Now coming up on the software, I know you guys are skipping through this darn video. The software, I'm not showing you how to set up the software. I'm going to go to where it's already set up for the Ender 3, but it's going to be a fresh copy of the Ender 3 software. It's not going to have anything where it's like a BL Touch or any of that. It's going to be a fresh copy, so it'll be the exact copy you guys have. But if you want to know how to set all that up to use that software, I already have a video up and going, which is the best video out there right now. Most videos skip around a lot, mine does not. And that video tells you how to install the software for the Ender 3. And take this off here. We're going to start at that point where I already have the software for the Ender 3. So that slid over this with these turned sideways. Okay, you got to do these sideways. Once you tighten them down, they got to be sideways like that or they won't grip. Sometimes I get both of them locked in, sometimes not, and it's got to slide in this way. I got to do this right up close to my eyes because I'm blind as a bat. If not, they won't tighten down as good. Okay, I got mine in there. I'm not going to tighten it all the way because I still got to put the belt around it. But I don't have the aftermarket one where you twist it. I think you twist it on the end and it extends out. I really don't have all the issues other people have. We almost got this converted over. So now this should slide right off of here. We want to note which way, how it's sliding off. As it slides off, we're going to pop that belt end off right there. I think you guys can see that. Pop the belt off. Then we're going to pop the belt off of this side. That was a brand new belt too. I just got that. And with it like this, and the wheels were like that, we're just going to slide it right onto this. And mine slides very nice. I have the upgraded white wheels. They say they're an upgrade. I think they're a downgrade because now we continue with the deconstruction. The part that I'm nervous about, the part that no one wants to do. So I'm going to kind of keep the wires a little bit loose here. Guess I could pull that one off. Yeah, I wish it would all quick connect, come apart. Kind of keep that part away, but it's not going to. So we're going to take off the bed right now. It ain't gonna look the same when you're done. I expected it to kind of have the same frame here and then a wider thing here. It's not looking that way. It's looking a little bit different. It's kind of looking like a square box. And this should just pull right off. My little add-on box that can't go back on there because it clips in the side and the other side. It's not going to go back on there. Pretty cool because it said my name and said junk on the end. Kind of like that. Jake's Junk. That was pretty cool, but no more. Got cobweb in the side of this. How did the cobweb get to where this thing used to be? Okay, so I'm going to sit that upright. It don't want to sit upright, so we're going to unhook all the wires on that so it'll go away. There we go. So far we got 3 pieces here. 3 amazing pieces. Now we're going to tear this apart. Now what I was saying were them new upgrades. How did that get in there? Look at all that white. Watch this. I'll wipe it away. Look at that. That's on my finger. I don't really like the upgraded wheels at all. Never have. Don't think I ever will. But yeah, here we go. So this is the new piece that all this bolts to. And I know this is only single wide. This is only single wide. This is going to be double wide. But you're replacing this metal bracket. The new metal bracket is in this cardboard over here with a new bed and plate. And you're going to be Don't hold me to that, because maybe we're using this plate but putting them out there. But they will fit onto this as the instructions say, and I hope they're correct. So now we need to take off the end so all this slides out. I may put new wheels on it, as it's kind of, maybe they're bad already. Who knows? Let's take this off. This is non-adjustable. So how do you know where to put it on the new one? Remember, it went facing up. And if you look over here, there's two little screw holes. Now, I'm not going to show you every end of this device to show you that that's the only screw holes, but that's where this goes. And if you screw both of these in, it should just line it right up, right back to factory specs. That one's a bit stiff, but it found its way. Thank goodness. I don't want any problems. Also, don't tighten it down too tight, because it's also just plastic. There we go. So when the rollers come back, they will hit this, and it will stop it. So they're also saying to take off the end caps on your old one. I don't think I ever put them on. Okay, I put that one on. I was going to make them into drawers, so I don't think... I was like going overboard at one time, trying to put like every drawer on this thing. Now it's just... Yeah, this used to travel. So I needed all my tools to like stay in one spot, so I didn't have to organize them all into a different bag. This motor I also upgraded to the same motor that you've seen earlier in the video. They're all the same motors that I've replaced. I think there's only one motor I haven't replaced. I haven't done the Z-axis, and I have not done the loosening this because it won't let me pull that off because the belt's too tight because of the tensioner. This is the tensioner up here. I have not done the extruder because it barely gets used. It moves just a little bit, like every couple seconds. It never gets hot. And my Z-axis, some people go like a dual Z-axis and all that. I printed for 8 months continuous, and this thing never shut off, and I never had a lick of problems. When I start seeing problems, I'll start doing these upgrades, but I think most of these upgrades are just people trying to be all fancy and stuff. To me, it's a waste of money. Okay. So that's actually screwing into a pre-drawn screw hole. So we're going to have to look into that. Because, wow, that was nice. As you can see, there's 2 screw holes right here, and there's no screw holes on this one. But there is on the other side. But the screws on the other side are not up and down. So we will have to look at the instructions of how they expect that to go on there in a little bit. That right there was just a cover that I 3D printed, so it looks better. I forget how this thing even comes apart. Where's the... Oh. Gonna reach in there and pop the belt off of the bed. There we go. Actually, it's easier to pop it off this side, I bet. Yep. Gonna twist it. And there. Came out of that little hole right there. And now this, which I don't think we'll use. That used to be the old one for underneath. We're going to toss that to the side, but not away until we know that we don't use it. We obviously know we don't use that belt because now it moves an extra couple feet. Where does this stuff keep coming from? So there's the old bed. We're still going to be using the same heater. There was an upgrade to get a different heater. It makes a lot of sense to me if it came with a 420 board heater. because out here it's not going to be the right temperature. But I decided not to go with that, as you got to do a lot of adjustments inside the computer to heat it up and do stuff I didn't have planned. So now I'm going to go ahead and look at where we mount this. We're just going to continue on. As I was looking at the bracket here, here's the instructions. They show another bracket going on to the back axis stopper, and then they show you 3D printing a piece for the back. We're gonna go along. I received no 3D printed stuff other than this. You can tell this is 3D printed. It came with a little piece that fell off that went inside there. I'm assuming that does something down the road. But we're gonna go ahead and switch this out, and maybe by the end we'll figure out what's going on with the back. It may come together and we not even know. So I'm going to start by unscrewing these because we're getting rid of this old board. My old board has a magnetic board on it. It's not going to be the easiest board to take off. Or it may just all come off the back. I've never really had it all the way apart. My board was getting super warped. I was hoping I could stay with a magnetic board, but the cost effectiveness wasn't really worth it. I have upgraded springs on mine because my old ones were getting kind of wore out, and as I'd print on one side they would actually start sagging. It was pretty crazy. So kind of remember how these are like this. So that came off of there. We got the new huge chunk of aluminum right here. I think it's aluminum. And they give you 4 new screws, so I don't even need to pull it apart. I'm pretty sure them are the screws, or what, they probably want me to reuse them, don't they? So I had, you know what, I better just reuse these, as they're pretty cheap on this kit. Let's see what they do if I put them through there. Nah, we can use them. They wiggle a little. So this little holder right here is the old holder. And now I understand how that clip goes in there. Still only going to be using stuff from the kit to build this. That piece that we had, that's the top clamp for this. We just gotta get it to open. And then it's zip tied, so we're gonna need some side cutters. First thing we're gonna need that's not in the kit. I'm probably gonna just use a knife. Try not to cut the wires. It's not that big of a zip tie. There we go. Cut the zip tie. It's a little zip tie. Should be alright. Too bad we can't reuse this because that's a nice built one. It's not 3D printed. Like, feel how stiff that is? That's stiff. I know this one's longer, but it bows crazy. You can feel like, actually you can see how infilled it is. It's 3D printed, right? Each one of these lines is the infill. Because if you do like a 75% infill, there's more lines. That's the extruder going back and forth. If you don't see any lines, that's almost 100 or a 0 infill. So that looks maybe like a 10 or a 20% infill. As this is molded, so you really can't tell. That means it'd be 100%. So this is going to go on there on this side. But as it's a bigger thing, it's going to go out further. And it's going to clip on there with a zip tie. You're going to need a zip tie on this. It ain't even going to clip in. That kind of sucks. So I'm going to use the screws that were provided with the kit. They have nuts with them. That's why I was a little bit... They even have little washers with them. I'm going to screw them on here just in case I don't use them. And then later we have to use them. I'll take the screws out of the old one. So there we go. I gotta pull this mat off of here, the heat pad. And we gotta take the whole thing off, don't we? So I gotta take off my hole. That's definitely aluminum, which aluminum warps. So I'll be prepared for that. I gotta take this magnetic pad off of here. I'm not gonna do that on camera because this could take me hours. I guess I'll try it a little bit on camera. Let's get this thing out of the way. The original one was a pain. It took a very long time. There's one of the screws. I'll put that screw over in this pile because it's an extra as far as I know. Really hard to pull off. This mat was also starting to go bad. The magnetism was actually disappearing. I wonder if I push them bolts through, if it would. Pop the laminate off of there. We're getting there. Okay. Got another extra screw. Put that with my pile of extra screws. This pulls off hard, but very nice compared to what the original one did. Last one left so much residue. It's not ripping or tearing. I did have thin spots. Oh, it ripped. No, the tape's starting to... No, it's not a problems thing. Please, just come off. Guess I could heat it up with the hairdryer. But it's coming off so well. There's the final screw. Oh, we just got a little bit. That was nice. Wow, I wish you guys luck on getting it that clean. I really do. Feel sorry for the people that have the old one. The other style where it's just a mat. Most people have just glass, so that shouldn't be too bad. So that's our plate, our heat plate. I'm gonna leave that little bit of glue on there. Don't think it's really gonna hurt anything. We kind of had to know which way this was facing out. Looks like it needs to flip up this way. Actually, it don't flip up that way, does it? Oh yeah, it does. I was just a bit confused because that's recessed in, but that goes down to the mechanism to hold everything. And then this goes through that. So this So it's going to be like that. Let's line these screw holes up. There we go. There's one at least. Let's go ahead and use the new ones. And then we can pivot off of that bolt to put in the next one. Again, I went with a glass top. I don't really have to show you too much about how to put your top on. There we go, we got them in. I'm kind of confused why we have... Ooh, we got it over. We got it over with no problems. Okay. So the next thing that goes on after that to hold that up. Holds it way out. Seems like it holds it further out than what it needs to go, but we're going to have extensions on these wires. I almost would assume if I took that off and put the little one on there, it has enough on here to where it wouldn't affect it, but we're going to do what the instructions say. I'm actually going to look at them again real quick. So they're actually wanting me to put the washer on here and then put the bolt to hold these on. That way nothing moves. If this was something that needed to be done, I would have thought it would have been done before, but my springs are also bigger than that. So my springs are probably gonna... So here's a normal spring. There's my new springs. See how the original spring is a bigger hole? It doesn't quite go over a nut for sure. So I don't think we're gonna have a problem, but it's kind of weird. They're altering it from the original. Now this is not going to be easy to tighten down as the bolt is long. So I'm gonna go get a socket, but I will show you that what's in the kit will work, I'm assuming. So that's all that's in the kit. Oh, hold on, we got one more wrench. So it's not the wrench that does your hot end. It's not that wrench. It's that wrench. So it's still a wrench that's in your kit. But if I was to do this, well, you're gonna need a Phillips screwdriver. That's not in your kit that came with your Ender 3. So you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, and I would go get yourself a deep well socket instead of this. This is gonna take forever. I'm gonna tighten these, then we'll come back. Sorry about having the TV going on that last segment. I didn't even notice. So, read the instructions a little bit. It says you may not even need this. If it's included, you can use it. If not, you can easily print it, or you can use the original one. I wish I would have used the original one. I think I would have had to take it off either way. But the original one just looks like it looks fine. Like right like that. I don't really see a problem with using the original. The new one goes so far out. I think I'm gonna put the new one on it just because that's the kit. So I had my left. I'm gonna use all the springs that I was previously using, which all mine are yellow, but one of these had a white one on it because my board was so warped. I had to use that. I don't know why I really had to use that spring, you think? So who knows where all my stuff is. We're going to put the spring back on, and we're doing it totally wrong. We forgot the plate. This plate. Because this plate has to go just like that. But that ain't all. We have to move these out. So, don't really have to do this on camera, but take these bolts out. And I guess we're moving them out to the outside. These must move out there. I'm going to move these out there, keep them right there, and we'll see. Okay, so I put them all the way out. They ended up going all the way out. So these I know I'm skipping a little bit, but these actually go into the bigger holes. These go into the littler ones. That's all I've done. Just figured make the video a little bit shorter there. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten these down just with the wrenches provided. Now these can be over tightened because then the wheels won't spin. I'm going to over tighten them to where the wheels spin a little bit. Actually, these don't over tighten. Whatever ones I had up on the top, on the y-axis or whatever it is, I've over tightened them before and they don't spin. These spin. So just tighten these down. I did flip my wheels because they were worn out on one side, but they're still good on the other. That way I don't have to do all this over again. Still spins. There we go. That's that. They're all straight. Let's make sure it goes onto this bar. Back here's the stopper, so we're going to put it on like that, just like it would when we get it all together. Look at that. It rides nice. There's a gap in between right there. Can you see that gap? Yep, there's a gap in there. So it's going to ride nice and smooth. I just got to be sure to put this on the correct way. Can't put it on like this. I don't know if it even goes on like that. It's got to go on like this because the belt feeds into that spot. So we're going to put this on here. Line all these up. Make sure you put your springs on first. There we go. Now these will go on here. Feels like I'm doing it backwards, but I don't think I am. I'm going to screw them down until the thread is showing. Going to do a cross pattern, that way it doesn't pop it off. Again, sorry for my TV running earlier. And I have heavier springs on this. I don't know if the video will be much different. I like the heavier springs a lot, and I would recommend them. As you put weight on top of this build table, your springs kind of give up. Not give up, but they aren't as strong as the build goes on. Especially if you're like me and I built a capsule and I was putting stuff in it, and it definitely weighted down my build plate. I may switch that one over to the original spring, but I can do that at any time. There we go. The wire will just come out and be zip tied around that. They did give me a little cover for it, but we'll deal with that later. Now that'll flip over and go right into this after we build the rest of the frame. But you guys need some more juice in you. You're at 2%. You guys are all juiced back up. We have ran into a problem with the kit I was shipped. So I've looked over the instructions just to make sure there's nothing that I really need to look closely to and do now. And we are missing this bracket. If you watch the unboxing video, you could see that I unboxed every single thing. That is missing, and these two are missing. They're in red. It says for non-pro only. That's the bracket for the back piece, which I noticed was missing, and we're missing that. So whatever the Y-axis tensioner, Y motor mount. And then this is called printed in-stop mount, non-pro only. So if I would have had my printer together before I tore this apart, I would have printed it. Instead, I'm going to contact the manufacturer and see what happens. And if we have any problems, I'm going to have to tell my credit card company to issue a refund, and I'll probably buy the parts on there just before I do that. I'm probably going to see a problem because when I actually emailed the person originally about all this. They got back with me on a private email, it seemed, instead of like a side email as a business one. So it seems like somebody just in their back garage, which is no problem as long as I get what I need. But since there's some stuff missing here, I'm going to need that shipped to me. It's not my problem that they didn't ship it. And it should be in the kit because this is a non-pro kit if you've seen the unboxing video. So, back to what we got to do now. We have to take this apart, and this middle beam we will not be using anymore. As far as I know. The more I keep looking at the instructions, just the worse it gets. We're going on about an hour and a half now doing this. The recording takes a little bit. We're actually in 2.5 hours, but recording and between recording and sending texts to all my friends, you know, if you don't get back with them, they think you're dying. That has added some time. If I could quit throwing these everywhere. And then this one should just pull right off. Now these little silver things, them are mine, not yours. Don't have to worry about them. They actually turned out kind of ugly, so I'll probably just keep them all. But I'll blow that out a little bit. That way it's all clean for the future. Just gonna take all these out. I can always put them back in. That way it's easier to do. There we go. That's ready to go. Now this is gonna turn in, instead of it being an I or an H or whatever you want to call it, this thing is going to become a square. A nice size square. So, do we need that? I don't know. Let's throw that over there. We're just tearing it apart, hoping that we know how to put it all back together now. Taking off the front screws here. Now I have a GoPro that records every print I do. That goes right on here. This is actually the mount. You guys probably won't have this. That came off quicker than I thought it would. Taking off the screen. That way it doesn't get damaged. I'm going to take that screw out, which is a tiny. And I'm assuming this is not even on the new one. They started giving me like really weird stuff. The instructions show you like bolting it to something. This bottom one's on there. We'll see when we get there, but I have no faith in it now. You forgot to ship me something. I'm in the middle of building something. I have clips on here. Just slide them down. I'm going to reuse them clips if we need to. Best things ever. It hides all your wiring. Now there's no return. We got to get this put together. No, when I go to build something, like I'm doing this video right now, I am ready to build it. I'm not ready to wait a week for you to ship me something in the mail. May have to get on a Ender 3 3D printing thing and pay someone to even print it for me, which would even be worse. Like, I don't want to do any of that. Okay, I assume we're not using this anymore, but we will see down the road, as it has our screw hole for something. Oh yeah, our screw hole right there, our cutout area, and the screw hole on the other side. Chuck it to the side for now, though, because it is wanting us to use these, which at the beginning of the video I showed you it's not the top rail because it has these two right here. Now it is saying this side's cut out, so you're going to want to put it like this, where these aren't cut out. Okay, the cutout, I'm going to just discuss it right now. The cutout, see how it's cut out so the head will go through there? That's what we're going to talk about, cutouts. These cutouts need to go like this, And these cutouts in the middle need to face down. And then they need to go on here. Here's the padded side. Then for the Ender 3 Pro, they go down here. Ender 3, they go up here. It goes up higher. So we are going to do that clear around off camera, putting them on the top, all 4 of them, and then we'll be back. Even if I was doing something off camera and noticed something, I'd come back and tell you. These screws are too long originally that go through them. They're really nice because they're painted black. New ones are kind of just galvanized. These bottom out on something in there. I guess you have to thread it clear through if you want to use these, but they give you a little baggie, and they give you some smaller ones. They give you these, but I'm not going to use them as it'll scratch up the paint and everything, and most of this will just stay in there anyways. But yeah, just make sure you put it on the top side. And these ones screw right in. The other ones screwed in and they bottomed out. I'm like, well, what now? I forgot there is screws with the kit, but I am still yet to find them 2 brackets. I may have to rewatch my unboxing video to see if they were in there somewhere, maybe. I'm going to go ahead and take the longer ribbon cable that they give you. I'm pretty sure it's for this. I'm going to go ahead and plug it into XP1. We are going to be at a standstill in this video, but I'm probably going to put it all together and put it into one. But I went and watched my unboxing video, and it does confirm that I did not receive all the products that were supposed to come with it. I contacted them with email just a little bit ago with the 3 parts that are missing that I showed you guys a little bit ago. And we'll see how they get back with me. Amazon actually has the bracket for $22. The company that I bought this from has a kind of like the same bracket for $16, and it seems like it comes with the motor too, but I don't want the motor. I got enough extra motors. I just need that bracket, and I don't know if I really need the 3rd bracket, but I definitely need the Y-axis because I can't even put the belt in. So I got almost all this done. Just see me slide this in here to finish this. I'll make more sense of it when I pull it out and show you guys. I got all this together, and then I was like, well, shoot. That's got to go in there. So you cannot put that in there because there's only one hole. I don't know what they want you to do right there, but I am just going to put 1 screw in it to build this thing. Okay, so that's lined up perfect. Slide that in. You guys got the worst view ever. But I keep sitting on my floor and my leg keeps falling asleep. I know I could do it on a table, but I knew this was going to take up a lot of room. There we go. Now I got it started. So I'm going to have 1 screw in this because I don't feel like drilling another screw into my cover here. I'm putting it right back where it was. I'm thinking they're trying to move it to a different location. We'll have to see about that. I'm going to take one of the silver screws, put in right here. I'm eventually going to make me my GoPro bracket to go back on here. That takes a different screw. And there we go. So the instructions are kind of wild. They show a lot of pictures, but then they also don't show what you really need to do. I'm hoping these people get back with me tomorrow sometime. But now this goes on here, and it's wanting me to do a measurement to put that on there. We're going to have to put that on there and just slide the bed on there because all this stuff now is obsolete. They should have just gave us spacers for in there, because now this does not go on the end of here. So we're missing the 2 brackets for the front to hold this wheel on, and we're missing the bracket in the back to, instead of having it'd be on this way, it would bolt it this way, that way it goes through. So we're missing all of that, which is fine, because we could also buy an upgrade for this, and we could 3D print the bracket for this if we had the printer going. But we don't, so we're going to put them to the side. Probably just going to slide the bed on there after I look up how to measure where to put it, because we have to take these. I said these before I even found them. Where did these go? We have lost these. Oh no, they were just too shiny to see. So we got 4 of these. These are going to be tricky to do, and I hope I only have to do them once. I'm going to read the instructions very closely because someone else did the math for me. But these have to go through and be on the top side of this, but up high enough to grab this. So I'm going to put these nuts through. I'm going to put these bolts through this way. And then I'm going to slip one of these on there, making sure that the rounded bit is upwards. I don't see this being very fun, but when I mean rounded side, that's the rounded side. That's the flat side. See the flat side? Round side needs to be on the top side. And we'll put them together and see how it goes. It's going to be near impossible for me to show you this, so I'm going to do it off camera, but you can push on these and they stay out. Then you need them to go in and be turned sideways, or if you're lucky, slide the piece in. But you got to do that for this and the ones down there, the ones at the bottom. Now that's sliding in the piece. That is the new bed platform, and you got to make sure you have this facing the right way. If you accidentally put it on like this or this, you're screwed. Now I'm going to go look up the measurements for it while you guys fall over. Stay right there. And we'll see what the measurements are, where we got to put it. But yeah, that I ain't going to be able to show on camera. I got to use both eyes. Wish I had 3. I slid them in, I guess. So it says 55 millimeters, which I either did the math wrong or right, or Google really messed it up because I didn't do the math. That's 2 1/8 inch. So an 1/8 inch. I don't even have a millimeter. Like, I went around trying to find millimeters. Such thing does not exist in my house. So 2 1/8, which is way down. 2 1/8 to the back of the platform. On the back side, it doesn't want to be on the front. So 2 1/8 right there. And that's where I need to secure it down. That's where I need to make sure them things are turned right and tighten them down. I'll show you once I'm done. Okay, I got them all secured down. It really isn't that hard, and if you start screwing them in, they kind of half go in themselves, and then you just tap them, and they go in the rest of the way. There we go, 2 1/8. We'll also make sure all this is square eventually. Kind of looks square to me. But if you put these up here, these are pretty square. That one's off just a little bit, but that's all right, because it could be the metal work itself. They even send you a thing saying this metal gets bent easily. I think it's pretty square. Pretty nice. So, I guess this isn't really in there, but you want to make sure this is the same distance. 7 7/8. 7 7/8. Okay. Just in case they did the wrong measurement, this thing could be tweaked. So there we go. We're ready to put the bed on, I assume. I guess we'll go look at the instructions a little bit more. Obviously, we're going to be missing the belt for now. The belt, you guys know how that secures on. And I think that's all we're going to be missing. Okay, so I've been looking through this instruction a lot. So right there, it shows the box being totally made. But then later on, it shows you building the box. but the power supply is still in the same corner, or the computer board's still in the same corner, right? But when you go way down here, it shows there being a cutout. So there's nothing cut out on the new stuff, and it's like flipped upside down. To me, that kind of looks like the Ender 3 Pro, but to me, I think I'm going to put the original bar back in here. Even though it won't go all the way, maybe it'll tap this and not go up or something. But I'm going to be putting that bar back in there and putting the computer back right where it was, the motherboard, and seeing if I can get away with that. So that's what I'll start right now. Because if not, I don't know where this board goes. Their instructions are kind of crap. So that would go right there. Yeah, if it would come down, it would. I guess I'm going to use that, because then I can still have the original mount in the back for it. Actually, that's exactly where it used to mount. So, yeah, let's get you guys in a different place. Yeah, I'll cut my foot on that. Let's just put it all back together how it was, I guess. So it took long screws to do that. I've even read the instructions. I didn't just sit there and look at them. And it's still not very clear on a lot of this stuff. Because instead of just making instructions for the Ender 3, which is what this is, they got to be like pro, non-pro, pro. It's like just have instructions for my rig. Instead, I'm reading something, then I get to the very end, and it's like, oh, for non-pro. Also, I'm starting to see where I'm going to lose a little bit of my print height, because this is bringing the board up tremendously far. Tremendously. By inches. I'm losing so much. And they don't tell you you'll lose all that. But this is where the original build was. This is how low it would go down. And this was actually down here further. So we're losing that much. Plus the thickness of the board. Oh, maybe I'm all confused. I think I'm confused. Don't hold me to it. So now we're going to bring the board over. We're not going to put the heat board in yet. Okay, so I have a thing that you guys probably don't have, which is a transformer. I have a burn-up fan. I don't even know which fan it is. Oh, it's the fan in here. So the fan in here has burned up. And instead of buying the same sleeve-bearing fan, I bought what everybody buys, this. And I bought a step-up motor. I think it goes from 12 volt. Oh, no. Yeah, it goes from 12 volt to 24. Whatever it does. So mine's a little bit different there. I'm going to unhook that until we have it all mounted. So mine's a little bit different there than what yours guys' could be, should be, who knows. So, this needs to come over here, and this needs to come over with me. And we need, what is that doing? Can you guys see all this? This is a mess. A flipping mess. Taking off that cable, they did give us a extended cable. I'm gonna slip that right into that slot. Wonder if one of these is, yeah, that one. Sweet. So that one's already bent the right way, so that'll go right out that way. All the cables need to come out the bottom, so we're going to flip this up like this. Slide it just like that. But before we do that, let's get all the new length cables that they have given us. We have some nice extenders there. Given us a few cables, just not the brackets I need. So that is going to, I thought they're all marked. Oh, y-axis and y-axis. So these don't look like extension wires. They look like extended wires. So let's go down here, find my y-axis, which my y-axis may be already extended. EX. Don't ask what I'm sorting through right now. I'm just, is that a Y? There's a Y. There's a Y. So let's pull that Y through. There we have a Y. And there's a wide Y. There's a wide Y. The wide Y is clear over there. So we have an extension that is nicer than the original of a Y. Let's see how much longer they are. Make sure that's a Y. It's a Y. And we're going to pull this thing off. Oh, we can't pull it off. The original equipment is in there. Mine pull right out because I've upgraded my board. Let's see how much longer we're getting on distance. There's the original. We're getting that much longer. Can you guys see that? That much longer. So that's pretty good. Throwing that cable to the side. Gonna plug this in before I forget where it's at. Make sure it still says Y on it. Y-axis yet. Didn't get them confused with all the other wiring that's down here. I have to pull this out a little bit. Now, I think this is the other Y, which is marked from factory with a little yellow pin. Actually marked on both ends, which is really nice, especially when you're down in here. It's nicer than what I'm replacing it with, but it's cool that these are covered. That's in there. My Y-axis is done, wherever your Y is. I don't really understand all the axes yet. Okay, we got an extended. That's not the cable we need. Okay, we got this cable. And we got this cable for an extension. This looks like we're replacing the whole power supply wire instead of splicing it in, which I thought we spliced it in there. But it looks like they're going to have us take it out of the motherboard itself, which is fine because it's the tool that came with your kit. Positive wire is on that side, which is red, if you guys don't know. And just to show you the quality, like that came with the machine, which is perfect. That works great. This is what they give you, which is even better because they could have just given you a strand of wire. So the length difference on this is definitely good. I am loving it. They put like the actual plug on there. You compare the plugs. I cannot complain about this company, other than they didn't send me the right stuff. So your black's gonna go towards me, and your red is going to go towards that way. Now you can tighten these down too far. I've done this before in the past, not on this board, but just snug them up so that they don't pull out. It's not like you're like this thing is going through a humongous earthquake on that part of the product. Okay, and our next thing to extend is, this now looks like an extension. If you look at that, that's definitely an extension because this will plug into it. For what it extends, we don't know yet. Let's look through these. It looks like it could be for the fan, but the fan, what's this? We got an extra, okay, so that's gonna go up to the up and down axis. The only thing I could see is nothing because it's all been replaced. Okay, so that comes out the back. Oh, we got this little cable right here. All my other stuff is going to the hot end. And if you're extending one wire to the hot end, I would think you would need to extend all the wires to the hot end. So I don't quite know what this is for yet. To me, it actually looks like a fan extension because it's only 2 wires. So it's not a sensor. A sensor would have 3 wires. Oh, well, not on this, never mind. A sensor on this is a shut-off sensor, so don't mind what I just said. I'm going to throw that one to the side. So now we have the heat board extender, which because your heat board is soldered on, they decide to give you this, which is the next best thing. And I have seen how these things work, and I love it. I just love what they did here. So your heat board is the last big cables that you haven't taken off. They're right down in here. I don't know if you guys can see that. Obviously not. I think you guys are following along pretty well. Oh, that's what they extend. So there's 2 wires going up that wire. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to extend. Obviously it's going to fit in there, but so that is some cable for, there we go. I don't know how to get you guys closer to that, but there, look, can you see? Can you see? So right here was the wire we extended. It actually goes into the loom of the hot plate, and then we're going to be taking out these 2 wires, black and red again, pulling them out just like we did on these over here, and I'll show you what we do with them. Everything's kind of self-explanatory. So I'm lefty loosening them out. Again, these are already nice and coated with solder. So you're going to want these to line up. It looks like the orange is really the red. So you want this connection to be great because this is your hot plate. You know, push that in, secure that down, and it didn't work. Okay, so you flip that up, push that in really far, flip that down, and it's in there, snug. It's perfect. You flip it up, stick it in as far as you can, flip it down. There you go. That's just an awesome connection. It looks like they kind of flip up like that. They're fine. You could wrap electrical tape around it. I don't think they're going to have a problem. That is an awesome connector. I need to get some for myself. So positive is closest to the wall, if I remember right. Seems like these don't go in all the way. Wonder why. I really like these connectors. Again, they're really nice connectors. They don't go in all the way on this. I have no clue why. You could snip the end of them off. I'm not too worried about them. Looks like the length is about equal for it all being extended. So there, everything's been extended, and we are ready to mount this back into the frame of our base. Put that down like that. I think that flips through that little area right there. We'll have to see. I definitely have to use different clips because that bar doesn't go clear across. There's no bar I can put in there to go clear across either because it's longer. So let's pick this up. Put this right like this. Bam, does it fit in there? It does. I'm just trying to figure this out because they're the ones that said just throw this in here. So it looks like I'd have to take out these 2 screws. And again, only use 1 screw to do that. Why does it make me do that? These 2 screws back here would hold it together. But then all this would fit together right. Guess that's what we gotta do. So I gotta take this screw out here. It is not going to be used. Now if you had the Ender 3 Pro, the box goes in a different place. So I got to pull that out, pull this one clear out too. We're not going to use one of the two. This box goes on just like your computer or your board does. My board may not even get to go there. I'm thinking it may be too wide. We don't know yet. We don't know anything. I keep assuming. Okay, see that slide right in there? Slid right up into place. You could always drill that hole out, which is definitely what I'll do, since now I'd have to drill two. Might as well get the whole kit out. Kit caboodle. That way it's stronger. And there we go. That is Let's see how that box actually fits on there. I bet that box fits forward, don't it? Okay, so that box fits up. Okay, so I'm doing it right. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it forward, put that second screw in there. That is only holding on the box. This screw is only going to be holding on the box as the screw to put that in. And my foot's asleep again. Where's our Allen wrench for that? Okay, so we can't put that back in there because the plate for this is 2 bolts, not 3. So we'll drill a hole in that at a later time, but this is the assembly without doing such harsh work. Make sure your wiring's all right. That wire can't go through there. This wire actually goes right like that and goes over to your display. Make sure everything's pushed in really nice. We're down to the last few things that I can do until them parts come in. What you guys did not see was I ran this wire over here, plugged it into there, also put my box back in there, which you just have to space this bar out a little bit further. Then it goes in there, and the reason I did all that without you guys seeing was because I had to flip this bar because I had it upside down, and the 2 holes for the power supply were up here instead of down here. Then I went ahead and switched out that bracket for the little one, zip tied it on there, tightened it down. It tightened right up perfectly, and put my other orange spring in. So what I'm going to do now is put in the belt for that top, and that's going to be the x-axis, I guess, right? X-axis? We shall see. It doesn't look long enough, so it's probably not that. So that goes around like that. I'm measuring it to this. Okay, so that's for the bed. The y-axis is what we need, I'm guessing. And it's nice and long. So I'm going to go ahead and feed it. We're going to clip it onto the bottom of this, and then we're going to run it clear around and then clip it onto the bottom. Hopefully I got the right one. I'm tired of this thing flying around hitting everything, so it's time to get the Okay, I think I just clipped that in there wrong. I need to clip it in to where and my light is not working. So for you guys to see all this isn't going to happen. Okay, it needs to clip in this way. Clip in, and there goes my light. Hopefully you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. And then pull it tight, and then push it that way. And then you're going to want to feed it through. You got to do it so the gear material is facing down. That way when you feed it through here, which is very simple, it goes out the side of the motor, or out the side of the shield. And I got it above it. Hope you guys can see that silver gear in there because I've replaced all my gears. Since you get new motors, they don't come with gears on them. So you gotta put the gears on them. Here, am I breathing hard? I'm fat. Fat and out of shape. Okay, we're just trying to feed that back through the top part. There we go. Simpler than it should have been. Or should have been simpler than what it was right there. Now that's going to go around the edge of the soft pulley on the other side. And then we're going to find out it's the wrong one. That's got to go underneath, dang it. So that's the one that goes somewhere else because it's longer. So we needed the one that does not say Pro on it. There's one that says Pro on it for some reason. We'll look at it in a bit. You guys can't really see everything, but get back here. Okay. So there was one that said it was for a Y belt 400 Pro, and there was one that said X belt 400. I guess you're going to want the 400, and let me compare it to the old belt, and it's much longer. Good. So let's do this again. Get back here again. Make sure you got the gear side facing the right way. There we go. We got it in right away that time. Then you take it down here and stick it through the hoe. Hopefully it went on the bottom side of the gear. And then you feed it back through the top side of the gear. And that's how smooth it should have went the first time. Alright, we pull it tight, pull it this way. Then you got to make sure it goes underneath. And then roll it over the hot end, or you're really going to be in trouble. I'm just going to pull that slowly because I do got stuff hooked up to the computer now. I'm going to pull it this way. I'm going to loop it over the nice pulley on the other side. It comes back and it's the right length. And the reason it has slack is because we have to then make sure it moves back and forth real nice. It's making that noise because we do not have this tightened all the way on the end here. So we're going to take whichever wrench does it. I cleaned it up a little bit. Now I can't find any of my tools. Slide that all the way out, and notice that one of them isn't even touching, so we're just going to have to upgrade our my one isn't even touching, and I gotta wait. God dang it. I gotta wait for parts from them. Better be from them. But while I'm waiting on them, I might as well buy the upgrade kit for this ending, since they're kind of making me do it. Because you can't just have it using one. So I'm going to make it go out and use only one. But as you can see, it kept falling off. Can't get any tighter than that. Okay, so that one's just dangling there. But it's going to move back and forth, no problem. It does seem like it's recessed in for some reason. So I'm going to have to, my pulley, I can take it off, but I could actually take it and move it this way because it's all the way in on the shaft. And that will bring this out and make it straight. I'll do that once I get this in. But you're going to have to upgrade this. Because now, if the belt was shorter, you wouldn't have that problem. But that's the belt that goes on there. Because the other belt had like that much extra. This one only has about that much. But yeah, that's what I didn't show you guys on camera. I did that. Put the end on there. So now we're going to put the power supply in. If you guys look right here, there is 2 holes. As I said earlier, I did it off camera, but these were up here. Just make sure when you're putting it together, they're down low, or you're going to be in the same pickle I was. And these will go back on there with this kit. So this was put together with these silver ones. Just getting the right stuff here. And you just kind of line it up, slide it through. Now, if anybody wasn't watching the whole video, I am doing the software. I'm doing a couple different videos, but I am not doing the video on setting up the software with this. To set up the software, I will have a link in the description below of how to set it up for the Ender 3. I don't really need to set it up because I already have it set up, so you'll have to use that video and set it up. Now, if you already have software and you've already recoded your printer at different times, you know exactly how to do the software, and it's one of the simplest things to do. It's actually kind of fun. You can tell the printer to do a lot of cool things. And there we go. Power supply's in. Now we just need to hook up some more stuff. Oh, I also put in the clips that we originally took off. I think they'll slide right off since this bar don't go clear across. But I don't think there's much I can do about it. These end caps, I'm not going to put them on anywhere. The only place I could see them putting them on is right here because you actually use the ends of that. So these end caps are almost worthless now. So let's plug everything in. Everything in. That makes it interesting. So here's our power supply. Power supply cord is way too long. Look how much longer it is. We didn't need it that long, I guess. I think it could almost went with the original power supply cable it came with it, but that's nice. We'll just throw that down there. So we got that. That needs to go that way when the board goes on. That's for the board. That's the board. That goes... Now, I already have an extension cable. This may confuse people. I have an extension cable because I made mine taller already. So E, that's Y. This E, E. So that's going to run the motor. And then this is going to run something else. I'm actually all confused right now, but we'll get through this. Okay, so let's put the board on, slide it in. Oh, I know what we're missing. Not really going by instructions right now. I'm going to use my slipper, my house slipper, to keep this thing in the air, because it keeps wanting to come down. And we are going to put in the axis stopper. Now it's this one. I can't really show you guys like what's best, but there's a stopper right there. I normally base this off the bed, how warped your bed is, which my board better not be warped at all. But yeah, these you just tighten down. You stick in there and tighten them. You know how to run these things. But yeah, I normally adjust mine later on when you tell it to go home. And they give you 2 things for this, but normally I only get 1 to work right. And of course they both work right. And that's going to be this little plug right here. You just got to plug that in. Unless you're using BL Touch. And I will show you guys all that. See that little lip right there? I just make it sit on that lip until I adjust it for the BL Touch. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Give me a break. And then you got to slide this on there. No, you don't have to slide that on there, but like and subscribe. The ones we're missing, that's these right here. We need to hook these up. So this is your y-axis, which is weird that it's going. So your y, okay. So this, they gave you a long y-axis. This goes to that back motor, and the other one goes to that back sensor. So we're not using them right now because we don't have all the equipment for that, because they didn't ship it. So, I don't like that knot that's in there. So we still have this wiring system though. So we still have to hook up our x-axis, our X motor. Right in here's our x-axis, and I'm going to use this to push it in. I'm going to line it up, push it in. I think you guys could even hear it, that little noise of it going in. And plug in the motor, self-explanatory. Plugs on the bottom side of the motor. That doesn't mean it wants to go in though. There, it went in. Everything is hooked up. This is hooked up. This is missing the table. Everything's gonna go on this side because the table's gonna go this way instead of going out the back. Now we can put the table in for the second time. Final time. Hopefully. Here we go. Okay. So I don't want that to like come down. I still want it to be up like that. So did I get all the wheels on? All the wheels are nice and steady. Let's go back here and hook this up again, but for the final time. Oh, just lay down with me. Say job well done. No! The slipper fell. Whew. Just in time. So again, these y-axes, or whatever they are, y-axis, this will plug right into here, which I guess there's a different bracket for that, even though it's screwed in kind of like the original did. And then this will screw into the motor, or that'll fit into the motor. Now we got these, which again are the nice quick fittings. Luckily they're quick fittings because I've had this apart how many times now? And if you want to upgrade the board, look how simple it was. You don't even have to go deep into the motherboard and figure out what cable is what now. And there we go. Them cables can just scooch under there. And as that thing wanted me to do, okay, I guess I didn't get all the wheels on right, because this thing's falling. Did I not get the right front wheel? Man, it's such a tight fit. Don't quite know what's going on. why it's falling off. It fit earlier and didn't fall off. We leave white dust everywhere, which you will see later on in the video when we get to removing the bed. Okay, so that's on there. That's moving freely. And what's it hitting? Must have been how I was holding it. Okay, now the rest of this needs to go on there, on the end of this. So we're gonna look at it for a good long while until we figure it out. There's the old belt. You just want to toss that to the side. That is something you won't be using, so throw it in the pile of not used. I'm going to just pull this off the tip, off the top. I'm not going to go, well, I can go really fast with this because the motor ain't attached to the board. It's just going to push off. Push. Maybe it won't push off. You got to manually run it with your fingers. It popped right off. Also with this, I've never replaced these wheels. These wheels are still good. The wheel there, and the wheel there, that's still good. Okay, so we're still using this. So I don't know why I just took it off of there. Whatever. We'll take this off of here though. So it looks like I gotta take off this bracket, which I wish I would have 3D printed a different bracket because I don't use this anymore, but we'll take this back bracket off, which is easier to do now that I took it off for sure. And this is going to spin this little nut in it. So we are going to need, hopefully just the tools that are in the kit. Yep, tools in the kit still. Sweet. I hope I remember all this. Sometimes you guys see me pause the video. It's also to pause it and go back and look how all this was together. Okay. That one looks like it goes and screws into the actual board. The board screws into that. And it's going to spin. How am I supposed to get that not to spin? So far it's pretty nice not having distractions doing this. If you have distractions in your house, there ain't no way you're going to get this done. Okay, so I don't see how that... There's a nut down in there. I don't see how I'm supposed to get that nut not to spin to get that off there. So I put something there and clamped it, and it's still not wanting to release. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Actually, can I just bypass that? I could bypass it and just go through these holes right here. I don't know, that's what you got to do anyways. Jesus. You know, I thought about doing this whole thing just like everybody else has and just uploading the video, but then I was like, no, that's what everyone else does. Okay, I went through the hole. I guess I gotta show you guys. I went through the hole, and there's one right here, and there's one right here. I'm believing when you assemble this, when you originally bought your Ender 3, you had to go through here, because I remember these holes. So if you take them off, then look, you can get right to that bolt, that nut. I remember them not being easy to put on. So here's another piece we will not be using. I don't know if you guys can see all that dust on there. That's a little bit of the dust that comes off of them tires. So now we have this. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I did upgrade my motors. These motors are the same size, same everything, but for some reason they don't get hot one bit. They're super quiet. My whole setup is super quiet. I got the 4.2.7 silent board, and you cannot even hear this thing work. Well worth whatever I paid for that. Okay, so did we even need... Okay, so I don't think we need to take this wheel off. So let's put that wheel back on. Which ain't going to be easy, because we're already missing the parts to put it back together. Where'd that go? Well, it's silver. Oh, there it is. freaking heck. That's going to go in there. So you don't have to take this off. Hopefully nobody just watched this and then did it and then unpaused it and was like, ah. That's why you watch 3 steps ahead. Okay, got that in there. Gonna put the nut on it and tighten it up off screen. Righty tighty. Whatever gets it tidy. That's what works. Now it looks like you can't over tighten it because it has the metal bushings. So just tighten it down. If you guys watch my YouTube, I've actually had one of these wheels fall off. One of the wheels on this fall off and it kept printing, and thank God it didn't ruin anything, but it was pretty wild. Okay, now we got this whole thing. It faces backwards like that. And this goes on like, who knows? Oh, don't go on like that. Goes on like this. And make sure you screw that in right there with your hand. I don't have any lube on mine. I don't really have any problems with mine. And there we go. We just failed because we forgot to put that bar on first. So we got it all together and we know it works. So don't put that in. We got to put this on first. So turn this way so your hot end faces forward. And then this goes on the back side. And if you did it right, it should kind of line its... And oh, I broke my thing. So we're going to have to get a new one. Oh, it popped out. That popped out. Okay, that popped out. How nice is that? How nice is that? That actually popped out because it twisted and hit it. Be careful. So I'm going to put the hot end facing down. This goes like so. I will have to show you guys when I'm done because this is hard. Put the little screw in that I said was probably going to be hard to line up. Yeah, I remember doing this when I put it together. I did not like it. So I'm going to do it off camera a little bit and then show you guys afterwards. I know I'm right this time. Oh, I actually got it tightened down. That means I was doing it right. Where's that other screw? Putting in the back screw. There's 2 of them that you gotta see through this little hole. 2 little holes. Yeah, keep it straight. It should thread itself right in there. And it does. Got to tighten them down all the way because this keeps it all together. This pivot point does a lot. Okay, so the Ender 3 hot end goes forward. Wheels face back. Well, they're on the back side of that. And then this is on the back side. Your whatever comes forward like that. Then you're going to have to put the belt in there. I'm not going to put the belt in there yet. But if you put all this right, this goes into this spot and kind of like fits in a groove, and then it's them 2 bolts right there, them 2 right there. Now you can see them 2 things right there. You go right through there and wiggling around, it should tighten right up and you're all good. Now it slides onto these posts right here. Mine slides very nicely. I'll slide it on like that. I'm doing everything backwards. You want to slide this one on first because it's geared. Scratching it all up. Ooh. Screw it in with your hand. and then pick it up. It should go right down, but I am wanting this one in there at the same time. There we go. It's going to slowly go down to the base because it's super heavy now. Now I'm going to be putting that top one across here. And they gave us some good length screws, I think, for that. Oh, we got really long ones for that. Pretty sure that's what them are for. No, them go through the bottom. You're going to want these. I got 3 of these. It's these littler ones. This thing is pretty heavy. So, prepare yourself. Gonna go down here. The paint is definitely a different color. Maybe my paint is a bit dull. I did scratch it up a bit, but this thing's a workhorse. It prints 24/7 for the last 9 months, I think. And we finally grown out of the print size. So now we are upgrading the print size. Just putting in the top bolts. Hopefully you guys seen both sides. 30 minutes in and we actually showing some progress. Okay. So that's all 4 of them. I'm actually going to tighten them all the way down. Pretty sure that'll just hold everything tight. And I don't think we did anything wrong by starting with that, but that's going to be the new build width for sure. We can put the belt on there at the end. Right now I just kind of want everything to move freely. If I'm putting wires on, I kind of want it to move where it needs to be moving. Plus these wires probably need flipped around and all kinds of stuff. Who knows? I know they do. So there's our old build and there's our new build. So we're going to put that back over there. I'm probably going to go look at the instructions for a little bit. So far we've gotten rid of these 2 light pieces and a belt. It's the only pieces we won't be putting back on. And toss them to the side nicely. And then I think it's ready for the lid. We'll put that bottom screw in first for this. I know there's some Z-axis, Y-axis, whatever that comes up to this top part. Yeah, this is one of them. That goes there, and then one to the motor, which is probably this one because it's short. So you're going to want to pull out your Z and your double Z, your Z stopper and your Z motor. And that'll run that right there. Let's go ahead and put that bottom screw in. That holds the motor or the box in. I'll show you once I get it in. Some of this stuff I'm just happy to get it in. See how it fell? Not excited. It's looking like I'll still be able to use my tray that I had on the end. It's actually right here if you guys seen me take it off. I had a tray on the right side. I think I'll still be able to use that. Right here's that screw I put in. Everything's I can still get to my SD card, which is nice. My USB for formatting or whatever. The wires still go through here. This, I wish they would just design something so that this, I don't know. I guess it works. But there's no picture of this bar being in here, but we put the bar back. Hello, look at me. There's no picture of this bar being here, but to me it makes sense to put it back in there. There's nowhere else to mount this. And we are mounting it just how it was. So, plugging the fan back in. To its original hoe, I think. not wanting to go in there for it being the original spot. I guess I got it backwards. Yeah, I had it backwards. Okay, that went right in. I have a nifty little spot that slides right into there. Look how nice that slides into there. Gets a little bit warm, but this fan kind of controls all that. So when you get all this back together, make sure your fan actually spins a little. A lot of people put this on here and don't spin the fan. What if one of them wires get up in there? You would never know, would you? Yep, mine still spins. And mine had this weird cover on it. I do 24-hour prints, sometimes 3-day prints. That's the longest I've printed, 3 days straight on one print. And I go to bed and then wake up. And when the prints go bad, you gotta protect this fan. I don't want anything stopping a fan and then catching on fire while I'm sleeping. I've had a BL Touch or the filament run out sensor or all kinds of different stuff. Nothing ever works for me. This probably won't even work for me. I've never had a BL Touch work right. And I've done the software just like everybody shows. Putting that top screw in that lines right back up somehow, which is just excellent. And there we go, except we got that wire pinched right there. Let's open the back up a little bit and see if I could shove that in without. There we go. Popped right in there. There we go. Actually looks pretty tough so far. Also, all these things lining up, the screw underneath lining up, and this all lining up over there, that also helps you keep it all squared up. In case you don't have a square, I'm actually going to square it off screen because it's not the easiest thing to do. Okay. I'm going to assume the next thing to do is to put the rolly thing in. That's what we're going to call it, the rolly thing. I'm going to keep the end caps. That's another thing. The only thing I did not show you. So these had end caps on them. I took this, put it like this in the channel. See how it's sticking up like that? And then I took a crescent wrench and banged it. You didn't see that. And you did not see me install them screws on the bottom of this board. You did not see me put the nut on there, which I ended up using a thicker crescent wrench because I didn't have a deep well socket in the house for that. And it worked. It took me 20 minutes, but it worked. So let's slide this in. Again, we don't have all the parts from the people. We will continue the video once we get all that. So this is the only one that's going to have this problem. But it's got to come up through here. And I don't have it doing that. So I got to pull these out, do this like this. Now the wires are coming through. They use that little bit of... You guys still see all this? Okay. Maybe it needs to be a bit brighter. Is it brighter now? Video's gonna be long. I wish I could have done it in 4K, but 4K is so much to upload. There we go. Got them nice and tight. We're going to zip tie this on there at a later time. Just a simple zip tie right there. And we're gonna slide this board in. Simple, easy peasy. Probably don't even have to look at it. Well, that's what I'm hoping. I don't have to look at it. There we go. Slides right on. And it already doesn't like this wire. There. So if I strap that on. Yeah, the original wire would have worked better than the one they gave us. So I may tear it apart and put that other one on. That little bracket that was zip tied on. I actually like the one that was originally on it. It helps, it drops it quicker. If not, this sticks clear out like this. Okay, whoa. So we don't have the front part on this yet, so nothing's stopping it from coming out. But it'd come clear out to about there. And then we do have the stopper in the back. Right there's the stopper. So it goes clear back like that. Okay, that's it of that. Now we got to hook up. Let's hope everything else is right. Let's hook up this bad boy. Oh, don't you come sliding at me. So we got okay, so we're going to tip this back. It's going to be mad at us for a second. It's all going to fall. So we're going to use the really long screws that they provided. We also have some, but no, these are mine. The nice ones that we have that are shiny. The longest ones. You guys aren't even looking. Why aren't you looking? Why can't you guys turn your own head? I'm sitting here in my PJs trying to get something done here. Okay. Oh, this isn't easy. That bed's making it a bit harder, but I think I'll get it. You want to stick them bolts through and secure the top frame. Yep. Yeah, it's easier said than done. I am going to take this off. Since now we have it quick fitting. That is what's making it hard for me. There. We're going to put that back on at a later time. And this should be a breeze now. Watch what you're doing because you're going to scratch the crap out of this thing doing this part. So maybe have a second person. Me, I don't care as much. There we go. It's way simpler, so don't put that bed on right away. So I'm going to flip it over. And the hot end just went flying across my hand. Slide them through up into the top. They went right in. Now I'm thinking if you do this really quick and don't have the pieces laying around or you didn't sit on the pieces, everything should just screw back in because it's been assembled before. That scared the crap out of me. Haha, didn't get me that time. We're going on about 4 hours, so I'd say about 3.5 hours. It's taken me to get to here. The other time that I'm deleting out of what I just said is how much I've had to do reading instructions and replacing camera batteries and such. You guys are about dead again. Okay, so we got that. I think we're gonna have some extra pieces at first. So that's a few extra things for now. We tighten that down and just let that thing slam across. So I'm gonna plug in my Z-axis motor right here, which my light just shut off. Great. My light dead? I guess so. Guess it's dead. So I normally run this underneath the Z-axis. Oh no, I don't. I think I tried to do that one time and you can't because the screws go through that spot right there. So there's your Z-axis. And then we do not have our Z-axis. That almost needs to go through that spot right here. So you got to make sure all your wiring's right. I'm actually going to take this off, this back piece, put the wiring on the inside here because it needs to go right through this area right here. I'm going to do that off camera, I think. Who knows? You know what? Just let it go. Just let it roll. So all the wires need to come through this little hole right here. This little tiny hole right here. None of them are. So we got to take off the back. The back's easier than taking all the wires off. My foot's asleep. Oh, this whole thing isn't even going to want to move because it's mounted to the bed frame. And don't think we're done yet. We still have the power supply. That won't pull out enough, so we got to take this off. You guys can see my face now, can't you? Mystery man. Nah, I have a gaming side on my channel which shows my face every night. Okay, will that come up? I'm thinking it's gonna scratch the crap out of it, but I guess that's what I gotta do. There we go. Yeah, everything's... The reason that's so tight is this is still mounted to that. It's all over the place. So I guess them wheel spots weren't the best. Looks like it needs to move a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a gap there, no gap on the other side. So something's a bit wrong. When I go to put them pieces on to finish this video, I will have it put into the right spots so it doesn't do this. As for now, we'll just wait for the part to come in. This will mark 3 days after the rest of the video before this, which it's all going to be pushed together. So I contact, this proves that it's a different night and different bottoms. So I contacted them that night, which was like 3 in the morning, I think, whatever time I had said. And I'm a night person, so I sleep in the mornings. They had already gotten back with me in the morning and shipped me the product, at least put out the shipping, before I even woke up at like 10 o'clock. So that was awesome. And it came in a nice little box, and they shipped me more than what I thought was actually going to be missing. So we're going to open this. This is the exact box they shipped it in. I really think my unboxing video helped prove that it was messed up, but I have to say right now, it had nothing to do with the company. Actually, it kind of did. Okay, so when I originally ordered this, I ordered the... okay, it was Black Friday. I gotta explain it, because it was really not the company's fault. It was my fault, but then it's also the company's fault. So it was Black Friday 2021, and I did all my shopping online, just like everybody does. Did all my shopping in the store, and I was tired. Couldn't sleep. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Laying there, I'm like, hey, I wonder if the Ender Extender kit went on sale, because that's the only site I didn't check today. So I get on there. It's almost 3 o'clock, which 3 o'clock is 12 o'clock, meaning it's the next day in California, which they're a Texas-based company. So I was like, oh my gosh, it's on sale, but I only got like 3 minutes. I need to order it super duper quick. So I hurried up, ordered it, the Ender Extender kit, the one I wanted, checked it the next day. I accidentally bought it for the Pro. Obviously, you can see this right up here. This is the standard Ender 3, not the Ender 3 Pro. So I was like, shoot. So I sent him a message the next day, that company, sent it the next day. They had no problem with updating it. They even sent me a new invoice saying that I had already paid because it's the same exact price. And it just updated to where it wasn't a Pro. So then it came in the mail. You guys watched the unboxing video. Everything was fine. But I guess their shipping department was not totally updated. And he had updated that invoice before it was shipped. So that was kind of weird. It was 3 weeks out for shipping and all that. It was kind of weird that they didn't know. But I guess they didn't know. So they shipped me everything that was for the Pro, but not the non-Pro. So really it was my fault because I quickly ordered the wrong product. But then it's also their fault for shipping me the wrong thing and not updating their order or checking out their order. So what he shipped me, which he shipped it just how the original receipt was, which was pretty stinking awesome. They show you a picture. They don't just tell you, hey, this is what it is. But as quick as they shipped it as quick as they could, just as quick as what they shipped this all. No problems there. All my fault, and nobody else should have this kind of problem. But they made it right, and they did it for free, and they even shipped it for free. So we have another belt. The belt says the same thing that the other one said, but we're gonna go ahead and put this up top because remember the extender thing wasn't that good. My brain's all over the place. So this belt just seemed a bit long because it hung off the side. It says the same thing on it as the one we put on there, so we'll try it out, see what it does. Now, if you guys seen the instructions, it was 3D printed stuff. Because I waited and they didn't ship me the right stuff, it's not 3D printed now. It's an actual bracket, which you can get on Amazon for $22. See, that bracket's going to go on the back. The motor's going to go through there for the bed. And then this may do something. I guess this goes right here. It's kind of a guide. I don't know. There's no instructions with that. I'm going to have to check that out a little bit. I'm sure it goes right there. And it keeps the slack out, I bet. But there's that. That came in the box. That's all that's in the box. Other than this, which it doesn't have to come with a motor. Hopefully it didn't come with a motor. Well, hopefully it does come with a motor, but I don't need an extra motor. And it did not come with a motor. So this is the bracket, basically for the hold on, there's instructions and everything for this thing. Let's see what the instructions say. The instructions are so easy. So this, put stuff up just a little bit. This goes on the end right here. And it's going to slide right in there. And the reason we're needing to upgrade from that is because the original was only that wide. So we're going to a double rail, double width, hold up all this weight. Also at the end of the video, this wasn't fitting right and it was snagging. Now it is still snagging the black piece of this, but the problem was when I took it off to change this piece back, when I put it back on here, I had this spun this way and the wheels are further apart. So if you just follow the thing and don't listen to when I took this off, changed it out and all that, you'll be fine. So far I didn't see anything, an error in my video anywhere. Why is there's a feather? How'd a feather get up there? What, a duck running around the house? Okay, so we're going to put on the front one first. Looks like this will pull that tighter. So see that gap right there? As I tighten this, that gap disappears, which is going to tighten that belt. So I'm going to loosen it up pretty far. I'm going to slide this on. I can't lower you guys any lower. Oh, yeah, thanks. So everything just collapses. Okay, so just why do you guys keep doing that? So the only thing we have had to get is a Phillips screwdriver, which is the plus sign. So far, that's all we've had to get. That wasn't in the original kit, and that was to put in there to just kind of help out. A deep well socket, which I don't know the size because I used a crescent wrench, would have helped that process too. Also, again, earlier I said when I emailed them, it felt like a personal kind of email. Yeah, it felt like that again, which was really nice. We actually don't know where that needs to go. Let's put the belt through here first. So the belt, so this says it's for the Y-axis. We're redoing the Y, but we already have the Y. Let's just use this belt. Still gonna have a problem up top with it. All I did was pull this out. I'm going to put it with the gears, the gear side, up. I'm gonna slide it through here till it comes out the back. I don't think it really matters which way you put it in because it flops around. You just need to get through there. And I really need to get through there. Come on. Okay. After you pull it through, make sure that it's not twisted inside there or you're going to have some problems. That's what I'm doing right now. Just make sure it's not twisted. All right, perfect. So now I'm going to put it up through this. And it's just going to ride on there like that. Just like that. We're going to pull this off for a second. And the way to know you put this on right and how I caught it so quick is these two grooves for this to go in were actually on the sides. And that's where the belt hooks on. So that's how I caught on immediately that something was wrong there. Okay. Now I'm going to just slide this in because we really don't know our tightness of that yet. So I'm going to slide it way in so I have no problems. Now we're going to go to the back. And we're going to have to put on that bracket, that metal bracket. Now I can't get you guys any lower to the ground. At least I don't feel like it. But we got to put this bracket here on. This bracket, gonna go just like that. Looks like that's gonna go through. Again, look to make sure that didn't flip. And that bracket's gonna go right there. And it looks like you're only gonna be using these two holes right here, not that bottom one. And none of the screws they give you really look like. Kind of checking this out because it pulls the belt up. See how this cutout's kind of high? It's pulling that belt up kind of high. It's rubbing the... I don't quite get... I love doing live videos. You're looking at it like, huh? Okay. So we got to do shorter... Is this not threaded? This ain't even threaded. That's great. So sometimes with aluminum you can thread stuff. This may be because of the issue we had earlier. Not happy that this isn't threaded. There's your two sizes. There's the size I know goes in there. So I'm going to get one shot at threading this, and we only have one screw, bolt, whatever, to do it. Yeah, we don't have any more. And the other ones, oh, we got two. We got two. So we got two, and it looks like I'm going to have to thread it in. Hopefully it threads once. Now you hope this metal is stronger. Now I'm going to thread it and then bring it back out. Here we go. Try to get it straight. Now this is probably because I bought the wrong kit. I'm gonna elevate that and I can spin it. Great. That's just what I wanted to happen. You want the screw to be a harder metal than what you're screwing it into, and it should screw in no problem. It kind of feels like it was threaded, but I see no threads in there. You guys can't see that, but I can. If I pull this out and one side looks different than the other, I would say I just threaded it. Perfect. Went in all the way. Now I just got to pull that out. Yeah, I definitely threaded it. So I'll bring you guys down here and see this. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's threads in that one. No threads in any of the others. Most likely it's because I got the kit for the Pro. I'm going to use that same screw to do the other side because it works so perfect. Hopefully I can go straight with it. Yeah, I can feel me making that groove in it this time. The other side it went right in. This metal's probably designed for this screw to just thread it immediately because it knows that's what's going to be in it. Okay, it's all the way in. A little bit of shavings coming out with it because it did make its way in. Okay, no damage to that, just a bunch of fine metal in it. Because let's go ahead and mount the motor because I hate mounting these motors. Looks like I had kind of want to put the plug in the same direction. I know I don't like it facing down, but is that what it was? Was it like that? Was it like that? Was it like that? How was it originally? Well, guess we'll get to put it how we want it. Old bracket, won't be using that anymore. Throwing that to the side. Gonna put this in. And I think I'm going to put it this way. Doesn't really matter because it's a 360 motor. I don't want the plug facing down in case something grabs it. I got plenty of wire. They really didn't need to give me any more wire for this, but they did. So we'll face it that way. I don't want to face it up in case the board ever hits it out the back. I could push it up against a wall accidentally and down it could scrape something. So we'll put it this way. Well, no, we're gonna have to put it down. We're back. Because when this thing slides all the way back, the gear could hit this facing forward. Oh, what a dilemma. So we're gonna face it backwards. Down, we'll face it down. Better chance of down. This ain't the original motor that goes on it, but I'm going to center that the best I can within there because it does allow a lot of movement. And I got all this off of Amazon. Motors are fairly cheap, cheaper than the originals, I think. And then this gear, I bought like a 5-pack. It's the same gear through. Okay, so see how there's two little copper things pointing down? Both of them got to be in there. I faced both mine up just in case they rub on the rail. I got it halfway in and then used the 90 degree of that to spin it how I needed it. And the board did not want to go back how I needed it. Nothing's quite moving right now. So we got to put that on there. Make sure your front area is lined up on that pin. My gear fell out here somewhere. It's way over here. We have a shank shaft. You guys can see this. I got a shank shaft on there and I want one of them to go on there. So we're going to line it all up. And then I'm going to go down here and pull this out just to where it's a little bit tight. And we put it in the wrong hole. Oh. So we put it on the top rail. It's supposed to be on the bottom. So now I have to put it on the bottom. So do not put it on the top rail, put it on the bottom rail. I just pulled this little pin right there and did it up. Go ahead and loosen it up all the way. So that's in all the way. And then don't do what I just did there. Putting the gear back on this side, I took it off camera to do all this. So now that it's on the gear back here, pull this out all the way and tighten this one down. Tighten these down. Hopefully I can feel one grab. That one grabbed a little bit. That one definitely grabbed. That one grabbed. And that one grabbed. Nice. So 3 out of my 4 grabbed the rail. It's pretty good odds. Oh, just unspun it and respun it, and you can just feel it grabs a little bit more. So now when we need this tight, once we tighten that other pulley, you tighten this and see as it pulls it, now it's tighter yet. But if you was to do this with this, adjust it all the way in, and then tighten all this down, you can't adjust it anymore. Then once you do run out of adjustment here, you can loosen these and they go out even further. So we got plenty of adjustment on that belt. Now we gotta understand this one. So I want that just like that. We're going to move it out just a little bit. Make sure it's center. Tighten down this one right here. Now I want to put it on that flat part of the shaft. That way it can't spin. Tighten this one down just a little bit. It really can't do much because it's going into a round part of the shaft. And there we go. That should move all the way forward. We're having a problem with this thing falling down. Okay, all the way forward, which is way up there. And this should come all the way back. I don't know if you guys see it. it hits right here. Watch this. Man, my table moves like crazy. Once there's weight on it, I don't know why my table moves so much. Did I have a wheel come loose? Well, then it comes all the way back. And for some reason, that's all the further it comes back. Well, that's all the further it needs to come back. But it's not hitting the sensor. So you're going to have to adjust it all the way back. And then move the sensor that's right here. I'm going to have to move it to where as soon as it's all the way back, it also hits the sensor. So I'm going to adjust that. So if you guys remember earlier, this was actually screwed into that bracket. So to move it, I need them things 3D printed, or I need the bracket that it was supposed to ship with, which he did not ship that with this. So we're just not going to use this, and hopefully nothing goes wrong until we get that bracket made that needs to adjust this. Or I guess I could just put in the slider things and make it hit the wheel, because the wheel is actually level with this. The board's actually up higher. But that's all we can do now. We just got to plug them in, even though that one ain't going to register anything. It hits nothing. I don't know what the board hits when it goes all the way back, but it just stops. I'll plug these both in, and then this thing's ready to get plugged back in. I think we've done everything. We don't have a very good... why won't that go in there? A very good belt for the hot end, but it'll do. Let's go ahead and put that glass on there. See what that glass looks like. So this is the glass shipped from the Ender people. You guys seen it in the unboxing. Actually says Creality on it, so it's kind of weird. Don't really know what you're ever getting. See how well it fits on there. Very nice. It fits the metalness of the board perfectly. I already checked the texture. It's kind of a gritty texture where you can flip it over for a nice shiny smooth surface. It fits on there very nice. For some reason my board wobbles a lot. I don't know if that's going to, of course it's going to affect something, but I'm going to have to look into that and see if it's something I did, something I can improve. But now we're on to the software. You're out. And you can flip it. You can flip it this way, or you can do all kinds of stuff. That's where the original gear was. It looks like I'm going to have to, I don't understand this yet. So I'm going to have to flip my gear, which is fine. Okay. So we're going to have to flip my gear. I don't know how they expect it to go to someone else. My gearing, here, I'll show you guys. So, there, you guys are straight on. So this is the center of the pipe. This is going to come down the center of the pipe. This mounts with the two bolts and should be center. As it comes out, if you look, it's kind of pulling it. See how it's grinding the side right there? I don't know if you guys can see, it's grinding the wall right there. So I'm going to spin this so then my gears are on the outside instead of this metal part. As you guys fall over. Guess you don't want to watch the video. Will you quit falling over? Oh, you're not telescopic at the moment. Which it's very simple. Since I don't have the original stuff, I really can't speak for anybody else how that's going to be. So, I gotta look down that hole, make sure it hasn't flipped and I can't see a darn thing. Oh. When this thing crashed, it took. Gotta put this platform back on here. If it wants to go on there. You want to go back on there? Do you want to get back together today? Oh, Jesus. Okay. And pull that close through. Okay. Now I can look down that tube and see if it has spun, and it hasn't. I'm going to let that do its own thing for a little bit. I'm going to put it through this hole. Spin it around. Then I'm going to put them 2 bolts in. I'll take that off for now. Oh, come on. Everything was going good. No need for that. Hopefully the bed clears that. And tighten these down. Not too tight. It's metal going into aluminum again. That's on there pretty good. I don't understand why it needs the roller, but the roller looks like it's going, I don't know, let me see this. I don't quite understand why there needs to be a roller. That's straight on. Okay, so the roller is just stopping it from gripping that. So I'm going to put the roller on there, and then I'm going to put that where it needs to be, and then tighten it down. It's kind of nice that I get that choice. I'd almost recommend anybody that's doing this to get this kind of setup with the motor and the removable gear. It's making it a lot easier for me. Spins freely. Now this should just pull around, go right on top of that, and it just kind of lifts it up a little bit to keep it off there. It doesn't even touch the bottom. It's really close, but it doesn't touch it. I'm going to, don't space out anymore. We don't even have it hooked up, so we can't really speak. So now I'm going to hook it to the bottom of the board. I don't even know if I could do on camera. You guys know where it goes. I'm trying to pull it backwards. It'll be a lot easier to do if I pull it all the way back. My front things are way out, tightening it all the way. There we go. How am I supposed to get that on there? That is way in there. Oh, I gotta go cross-eyed to see that. So you hook this to the bottom of the board. As easy as I'm saying that, it ain't that easy. I'm gonna flip this thing on its something to see if I can get to it. I'll show you guys it at the end if I can. Did I twist that? Hello everyone, and I'm saying hello because I started this video. I know this is the middle of the video, but I started this video over a year ago in 2021, and it is now March 2023, and so many people keep asking me to finish the video. I don't even know if the Ender 3 is still a thing, but it is for me. Finally, I got enough parts, and people requested me to print stuff for them. I'm like, I gotta finish this thing. But I know the problem I was having 2 years ago was this, because I ordered it for the Ender 3 Pro accidentally, and then they sent me a bunch of crap. My fault, not theirs. But I ended up using these screws. I'm sure they have a name, I just don't know. These screws with that little thing in there, and put it on the rail and adjusted it to just before the plate that's down here. Here's the plate that holds everything. Just before that plate hits this. And when it comes all the way back, I'm not using my GoPro, so it's pretty nasty. Right there, I heard it click. It's right on the edge. If you cut out the plate a little bit, right there's the plate, it'll miss this. But I really didn't care about an extra ½ inch. And as you can see, it's really dusty. I have not touched this thing. I haven't even taken the plastic off. So that was one of the things. And then I've also moved in that time, and I had to prepare it for moving. That's another reason I really just fell out of love with doing it. Somehow my cords are on the wrong side. So if you guys are putting yours back together, make sure these cords are on the top, because as it goes over, it's just going to keep rubbing the cords and go bad there. Don't think I had a problem here. I did have to tighten that a little bit. Problem I was having up here was, again, because they probably shipped me the Pro because I requested it instead of the other one accidentally. Black Friday quick buy. I had to buy the extender to bring it out. And the extender didn't really work as good as I thought. And I took all the parts off of this, because this is your original that goes on the front of this. And I took all the pieces, the extra pieces out of there, and they all work so far. But here's the original that goes on there. And it didn't go out far enough with the holes. I had one on there, but it still wasn't far enough. I couldn't use a smaller belt, because then too small of a belt didn't work, and I wasn't going to keep measuring belts. So I just bought the extender, and then I can tighten it if I want. It's loosened all the way, but if I bring it in all the way, then this still doesn't touch, and this all kind of bends. Well, okay, there you can see it bend a little bit. And these screws were loose when I got it, no problem there, but I need to make it so I can tighten it a little bit. Still be able to tighten it a little bit. So that little nub right there is barely on it, but I have moved it back vigorously, and it doesn't do anything wrong yet. So this is, I think, where I left you guys. I'm just going to throw the video together now. I do have it all sorted out. Next will be the... Oh, I got a big problem here. So you guys figure this problem out. I have horrible wobble. Watch this. It's up and down. It's not the stool it's on. It's actually wobbling on my... See, it's coming out of the track on both sides, and them are new wheels, newer wheels. They aren't worn out yet. But I had a little bit of wobble before, but I think if I print slow enough, I'll be all right. Or if I put all the weight to one side and leave the weight there, and then adjust the table to that weight. Like, make it so it's never going to flip over. Another issue I had is because I have so much wobble, I went ahead and just cut this out so I'd never have a problem, because it could have been a problem in the past and I didn't even know it. But this right here, if I wobble it all the way to the other side, look how tight that is. But there's supposed to be a black piece. This black piece right here is supposed to go up and straight right here. Even if I don't wobble it, Look how close it is. I've wobbled it all the way to the other side. Look how close it is. It just nicks it. So then when you rub it the other way, which mine is going to do until I get this table wobble done. Look, it just grinds it. Actually, it's caught right there. I can't even pull it back. I'm gonna have to cut that down a little bit further. I just used a little Dremel, cut it out. You can still see all the scraps everywhere. But I gotta get that wobble fixed. But for this video, I am going to just install everything. So I gotta fix this, and then we're on to the software, which I haven't done in 2.5 years. Okay, yet again, I am so sorry for how I'm making this video, but it's a lot of work, and I don't have the professional time. I have a normal job, and can't be making a video like an awesome Australian guy does. But I figured out my table wobble. Okay, now it's, why is it wobbling? Okay, that's just sound. So, if you guys can see way in here, see how that one's round? That right there, that is round. That's what holds your wheel on. The other one isn't. You guys see that way in there? The other one isn't. So you take your little screwdriver that was provided and you twist that, and it will tighten this right up. It's offset, so when you twist it, it moves it, the camber out or the camber in, and actually tightens it up. Tightened mine right up, and then I bed leveled it like you normally would bed level. But I had to move up this sensor just a little bit because I had to move it up. You just loosen them too, and that's the Z-axis or something. So I'm really missing that much on the top end. And then I went ahead and tried to measure it all, and we'll do the software next. So here's the software side of it. I am not adding that into this video. If you go under my YouTube, the Australian guy does an amazing job, but I could not figure it out. Go under my YouTube and type in Marlin, and it'll show you an older version of this. But the only thing was, I did different. I had to put this extension on. Auto build Marlin, which does not mean it auto builds, but I installed that one. That's the only difference from my other video I had. And then when I went under platforms, I had to type in this, but I'll show you guys. I'm actually doing this live. I got the SD card in there of my updates, but I had to put that in there, and I had the wrong one in there. If you do my video, the Marlin video of me doing this, type that in, what I do on my Marlin video, and when you hit the build button, which is right there, it will come up down here and tell you error. You can't run that big of a board with this code right here. Try using these codes. And I tried one code and it worked, but it still comes up with like an error. When I load it, it says something. I'll show you in a little bit. But we got to go get rid of all this. I decided to do a ton of this, guys, without you. So default X is 235. Default Y is 235. Default Z is 250. So I just I added 100. It came out to 295. I just did a bunch of work until I eased it right up where it needed to be. And what I need to adjust right here. So if you go up here, if you follow my video, you get this. Hold on. Guess I better show you guys. So we are under configuration H, because advanced is like the power settings. Okay, yeah, we're on configuration H. This one does the power settings on the unit. We're on H. So we're under H, and we're going to search. Click find. Find. I type in max, and then there's 138 maxes. So you want to go down until you find max something. 295. Don't listen to what I'm saying there. No result. Oh crap. 350. My 0 button don't work. Fucking hell. You gotta tap it 10 times. Okay. Eventually, if you type in max, you'll come up to this. Yours will be a different number. My max position for Z is 350. My Z needs to stay 350, but my Y needs to be adjusted to 395. which they're all in the same area. So if you're using the same one I'm doing, I'm actually doing build 2.1. If you guys watch my Marlin video, it's like 2.0, but it's been a year. I need to adjust my Y to 393. Y 393. Just for my setups. Do not use my numbers. Figure them out for yourself. Or use mine as a close reference point. Because you know how I adjusted my Z up and down? Yours is going to be in a different spot. And just that little 3 that's there can be the difference of it going bang, 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 or not. And it could strip out your belt. Be ready to shut it off. It's always easier to like do it too much, so go higher than these numbers. Because my Z is probably higher than you guys because I have the extender on it that raises it up. But it's easier to have too much because you can fine tune it. And I'll show you guys that in a little bit. Okay, so that's my adjustments I want now. I know I have to adjust my Z again, but I'll show you guys how I'm going to adjust that. 350 is too much right now. We're going to go ahead and click on build. It's building. Doesn't look like there's too many errors on the side. And when it's done, it will come into the same place that it comes to on my that video I have, Marlin. It'll come into my Marlin folder. Marlin, POI something, builds. The first time it builds, it takes a really long time. This one, okay, I gotta wait for it. That's the one I made last night. I was just making sure I got everything right. Oh, something failed. What failed? A lot failed. Why did a lot fail? I guess I'll be back to this video in a second. I love doing stuff live. So somehow I messed up my files while I was showing you guys all that, but now I'm just starting fresh basically. I already did the file and the Ender 3 into my Marlin folder, if you guys understand what I said there. And when you first launch your Visual Studio Code, it comes up with this under the platform. And on my one video, which is right here, this is the video you guys want to watch right here to understand what I'm talking about. I set up Visual Studio Code on this video, and I don't really want to put that video in here because it's just a pain in the butt. But on here it has my links. I'm clicking on that bottom link right there. It takes me to this, not that page, this page. And on here, right here is the code I need to replace this right here. And when I do that, I'm just going to paste that in there. I'm going to click out in the middle of nowhere, and then I'm going to try to build it because that's what I did the other day, and it happened. It was angry. Oh, it's going to do it this time. Oh, okay. Look right here. Error build environment is not compatible with board 4.7. Use one of these. So I had earlier in the video when I said it gave me a list. I had used one. Well, I used this first one, and it worked. So I'm going to use it again. I'm just going to copy that right there. That's because I'm running a 4.27 board, though. See what board you have. Now let's see if it'll do a build. Probably fail again. And that's leaving all my stock numbers in. Whoa, geez, just threw something on my desk. That's leaving all my stock numbers in, which are on this paper right here. All them numbers right there. Which probably don't make sense to you, but oh look, it's all working. See, all this takes a while for the first time. And then when you do another build, all this is already done. But and then we're going to adjust these numbers to the bigger board and the higher Z-axis, which I'm running the Ender Extender kit. So I think I get like an extra 3 inches higher. I'm going to wait for that to totally get done. It says building right there. And as it's doing that, it will come into, the new build will come under, if you're keeping up with me here, builds. It's right there, but you're waiting for a CD to pop up there, like an old CD if you guys ever move stuff to an MP3 player or something. And once it's done, it will pop up there. You will see. It even says that's the file it's going into. Pio. I'm going to open another one of these just to show you guys what I did while it's doing that. So So this is basically the only thing I didn't show you, my configurations. You go into here, you download it from also this video. It is the configuration. I don't use Creality's stuff. I don't like it. And then you go under examples, which I didn't even show you guys. And then you go down to the machine you have, which mine's up at the top. What am I doing? Right there. I'm an Ender 3 regular. And then I am a 4.2.7 board. There's tons of other stuff, or if you're trying to do your big tree tech. And then you click there and it gives you these files. Now I copied them files straight into the Marlin folder, which I had downloaded, Marlin 2.1. Then I clicked on Marlin again, and right here are them files. I put these files for whatever machine you have. My machine was this one, and I put them in here and replaced the ones that were here. That makes it so it starts up easier, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. But if you're confused about what I just said, just watch that video. Okay, now we're going over to see if the build is done yet. And it is. It must have just got done. Yeah, it just got done. Took 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And there is a build if I was using the stock everything. So if this was the size of my tray, the extruder would only go to about here because we've added that much, and it doesn't know that. And then the board would only come out, and it would probably come out to here, and we still have that much. So we need to recode it to where it knows that that is there. So we go up to Marlin. Advance again. Remember it aired out earlier when I was showing you. That's all your power stuff. Configuration H. And I have to do this raw because my first number was 235, but I think I can type in max. Type it in max. There's 135 maxes. Let's type in 2. I wish I could rewatch my video because my video showed. There we go. Max bed size. So everything's back to normal. Back to the normal size. But I've done a little bit of testing. I'll show you the easiest way to do that. But my X is 295. Just type it in 295. I'm just replacing it. My Y is 395, which made it mad last time. 393, I mean. And then your Z that goes up and down. Now don't use these numbers. Again, do not use these numbers. These are my numbers. Depending on, remember that thing I showed you, wherever you put the Z-axis stopper when it comes down to home, it's going to adjust it. Now these give you a good estimate of where it's at. Now we're going to click build. And hopefully there's no problem this time. So up here we have, whoa, something's going, what is going on? Oh, it pulled all the files. Okay, so I can't show you the build. It pulled all the files that were here with that little CD. It pulled all of them. We were under builds, and then Creality. Yeah, look, it pulled them all. It even pulled the. I don't know why it did that. I didn't delete it. My phone's getting hot making this video. Last time it took 2 minutes and something. So while it's doing that, and hopefully making it good and nice, the SD card that you have for your machine, you're going to want to get it, plug it into your computer, make sure there is nothing else on it. Mine's called printer, and right now it has a file in it. Sorry if I keep getting out of this. Also, I'm watching the video. I deleted it. It's an empty SD card. It says I have 4 gigabytes left. I thought that was an 8 gigabyte card, but I'm watching this video. It's still building. I was watching the video at the beginning of this, and somehow I had it running through the wrong mic. And it sounds awful. And I can't even stand hearing my own voice when I make a video anyways. But sorry about that. Shaking. It's loading a bunch of files. Now I do have red things over here and I don't know why. And you can click and go check them out if you want, but if it doesn't say there's a problem, which I may try a different number under the platform, but I'm just trying. Oh, looky there, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And if we go up to here, hopefully there's a build under it. Yeah, see that little CD? That's what you're wanting, just that CD. Right click on it and copy it. Do not, I'm on Windows 11, so it looks a bit different. I'm copying only it because, what's that, nude girl? I'm gonna have to check that out afterwards. Nude girl. Okay, I'm thrown off a little bit. I'm putting that on my the SD card. That is only, I didn't even have to reformat it. I think it just had a print file on there. I printed it last night to make sure it's all right. So I'm pulling that out. I didn't eject it right, so it's gonna get all mad at me. Oh, it is only 4 GB. So there's my 4 GB SD card that I'm gonna go plug in. Boy, is this taking a lot of work to make you guys happy, make a video. Because it's scraping a little bit. Do remember when you level it to heat it all up. So we're gonna put that card right into the little slot down here. Here, click. We're gonna turn it on and it should go that for a while and then show Ender after a little bit once it loads the new software in. There we go. 2.1. And that is what I get right there. I'm thinking if I do a different, you know how I recommended do this or that. I think if I do a different one of them, it may get rid of this ignore message. I just hit ignore and everything will work. But I'm going to show you guys. You got to make it go home first. But remember, mine is up a little bit right here. It's definitely not down all the way it used to be because this bar is thicker now. So this is up higher. So your Z-axis is going to be in a different spot. So I've tried to level mine. Maybe because it's not hot. That's why it was squealing. But we are going to manually adjust it a little bit. I'm going to show you guys how to figure out the numbers that you want to get. Okay. So obviously home is over all the way. It hits the little stopper there. Can I turn on my light after I've already started a video? Guess not. So, if you do not adjust them numbers right, it's going to stop right here, right in the middle. So, what's nice is if you put the number in there too much, see X is your left and right. But if you put it in there too high of a number, here, 250 is the original. Right there is 250, so it's going to stop right there. So that programming we had to do was to tell it, hey, your board's wider than that. What's nice is you can type in too many numbers. Mine's 295, I guess. Mine was supposed to be 395, I think. I think I put in the wrong number. What is it, X? Yes, it was supposed to be 395. My girlfriend was the one writing these down while I was fine-tuning it, and she put in the 2 instead of the 3. She just messed me up, so I can't even show you guys. I can show you guys a different access though. Darn her. Okay, so let's move Z down to 10. Darn her. Credits in the video for her. And we're going to do the Y, I think. Hold on. Now I'm all just. Okay. So, doing the bed. The original bed is why 235. Ours at 395. So to get it right, I put it 390. Look, 393. That's a weird amount, but I went over it. Really hard to see. I went over it. That's where I want mine to stop, and I'm going to have different holders that hold the board together. But if you go over it, the good thing is it'll go past, or it'll say, hey, you have no more belt, and it'll start skipping the belt. But if you go past, say I want to get it even closer, but let's go the other way, I guess, because it's maxed out right now. You can do them are huge movements right there. That's little movements, and that's microscopic movements. And I'll show you guys by... This is how you adjust it and know what the settings are. We're going to take the Z all the way up to... 250 is wrong now. 350. So let's take it up to 330. Wait for it to go up. So while it comes up here, so I have an extra 3 inches than some people, depending on which kit you bought. I bought the Ender extender, and then I bought the 400 platform, which doesn't use a full 400. I think it's only like 390. But this roller will get stuck up here. But it doesn't have a stopper for up here. The stopper for how high this is this stopper. So it goes from here up. Nothing's going to stop it except your correct number. Come on, thing. I can't delay the video that long. So this wheel, I got it to go right into this little groove just before it hits this. And that's where I like mine to stop. I'm not even going to really print that high. Maybe if I'm printing something small or rectangle that high, but I don't really do like masks and all that. I can't do a 4-day print and not have it mess up. Also make sure all your wiring's good. I'm going to do a little bit of adjustments on that. I have a problem. I got to put this on there. My wires keep getting caught behind here. Okay, here it goes. I got to feel it because I can't see it. Okay, right there is 330. Well, my original is... I don't know what the original is. 250. So 250 would be way down here. That's your original, but I added this much. 350 is my max, but we need to get it so that wheel just goes in that little crack. So there's 340. Okay, 350 is going to go way over that. So I need to go down to fine measurements. Now when I go up, God dang it. It's a hard screen to get. So I was on that adjustment to make it shoot to the top quick. Now I'm going to this adjustment. Fine tooth. Now we're at 341 because I did it without you guys seeing it. I'm just going to adjust it microscopically. Here, I'll lower it back down. Where is it? I'm looking at the wrong thing. There, I'm going to lower it just a little bit. And I'm going to raise it up into where I want it to be. Okay, right there it feels like it didn't move again. Wiggle a little bit in case it got jammed. Okay, make sure the other side isn't getting jammed in anything. And my original setting was 250, of course. My one after I thought I had everything good, but I had a wobbly board, was 350. And now that I got the wobbly board fixed and I got this adjusted just where I need it, I am at 345. And I can go over that too. Watch. Here, I'll raise it a little bit, but it seems like it feels like it's hitting resistance. Can you see that? So 345. I could go 344 just to be safe, but obviously you want as much as you can because it ain't printing that high. It's printing this high, which is 12 inches, I think. So remember, Z can go over that right now. Now let's go show you something. So that's really all you guys needed to know. Right now I'm kind of explaining too much, but I'm showing you that I had an error. Remember that was 200 because I'm blaming my girlfriend. And it needs to be 300. So I'm just going in there to fix it right now. And then I'm going to show you under Cura, or whatever that app is. What is it? Yeah, Cura. What you got to adjust in there. But right now I'm just going to fix that. And then I'm going to show you guys that it fixed it. So that adjustment, the height adjustment I did, you're going to have to do the same thing to these others. Just fine tooth adjustments. It's better to make it too high and then you can make it lower as long as you don't skip the belt. So that one that was 295 is X. We need to make it 395. Whoa, 595. And then we liked 345 for that. Hopefully you guys can see all that. And then that's the build. That should make it perfect. I'm going to go in here and delete that other build just so I don't get it confused. Okay, gonna delete that. And then we should be able to click on this if I didn't mess anything up. Please work. So now we're gonna go under Cura. While it's building that for us, I can see up on the top screen when it's done. Should be a little bit quicker this time around. So Cura is what I use. Cura, whatever, works. And they've updated a lot. I've only been on it once in the last year and a half. It was last night. I was like, what is all this? Like, for some reason, a 1.5 hour print now takes 7 hours. So I gotta get this shit figured out. Looks like it's all going through right. Still have the same errors that I had before. If you guys just want it to work, this video helps you out for sure. Come on, Kieran. Jesus. Come on. Are you mad at me? I'll use you more if you work. Haha. See? You just got to talk to it a little bit. Yep. How about you guys talk to it? Because now it's a white screen. Hurting me eyes. Most likely you guys see this orange because I don't like the blue light filter. Oh, I clicked something and it came up. Yeah, I don't like... Okay. So I don't really need all this stuff on here. So you need to go to Configure... Preferences, configure. So, and then you're going to want to go somewhere on here. I really don't know where I'm going. I'm just machine settings, printers, machine settings. And then here's your bed size. Now this stuff updates as you're doing it. Can you guys... Hold on. Somebody had to be a butthole and load that up. Okay, let's load it like that. Let's put this over here. Printers, machine. I'm actually going to set this up a lot more, but I'm just showing you guys. If you guys adjust this, what's X? Okay, X. If you guys adjust this on the fly, look. And then once I click out of there, look, it just made the board wider. Did you see that? So if you feel like it didn't adjust it, you should be able to see it right away. My X is 395, and it should shorten it. Watch it. It shortened it. That is my board width or something. It's the X. My Y is 393. I think all these settings are already in there. Nope, I gotta adjust this one a little bit. And my Z, which is my height, so that it doesn't mess up while I'm away while it's printing, is 345. And this isn't to program your printer, this is to program your software, so if you was to make something too big, it would know, hey, this is too big for your printer. So there is the printer size right there. And let's go see if this is done. Took off 30 seconds that time. Let's go see if it's in there, and it is. Let's go. I'm going to cut it this time. I'm kind of tired of leaving software behind. Putting it in my printer. And I'm just going to yank it out of the computer. Let's go see if it's fixed. Back at the printer. Trying to hit that little hole that they now hide from me. Should start up the same way again with the delay on the screen. Actually, I gotta end this video and restart it because I gotta finish it in 3 minutes. My phone's saying you're out of space. But I gotta home it before I do the next part. EEPROM error, which is fine. Motion, let's auto home. And I'm gonna have to pause it so I have enough video on my phone. Is it going down? It's doing something. We'll be back. Okay, so remember this would not go past over here because I had a 2 in there. Now I'm going to lift it up a little bit because it's not hot. I don't want to scrape at my board. Went up a little bit. You guys can't see that. And then is my Y the right way? Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay, remember it stopped at 235. We'll take it to 235. It better hurry up. No, 250. So now that we updated it to 350, we'll go past. Yep, look at that. Now it goes clear over. Now you want to fine tune it to see where the edge of the board is for you. And mine is 250. Did it go to the 350? That's what I meant. 395. Wasn't 395 the up and down number? I don't know, it worked. Look, it's right there on the edge. I don't know if I really want to print on the edge. I may back it up a little bit. The edge isn't always the warmest place, and if I have a ring or whatever, it's going to be a pain. But now it goes clear over. I hope that after a year and a half, I helped someone out with this video. And that's my ender extender kit. Width, height. I don't think there's much more to explain. I did just have a problem with this. When you screw this in all the way, it hits this. So I cut it off, and I was using my little Dremel to cut it. With this pulled out, of course. And the shaft got so hot, it melted all this plastic, and I had to hurry up and cool it off in water, or it's going to melt. But that's it. And they do offer a magnetic table now. I love the magnetic table, but $100 for a magnetic table. I go through them about every 3 months. I print so much. And sometimes this comes out and stabs the table accidentally. So that's up to you guys. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I helped someone.